Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone? Uh of course, as always, we're going to be going over the charts. First of all, I want to say I hope everyone's having an awesome day. If you're in any trades, I hope you're winning. We'll take a look at mine in a few minutes. As of right now, the stock markets, let me refresh this and make sure. Dow is now under 1,000. S&P right around the same as opening right now. So obviously, kind of everybody's just waiting for that next big news article or something to happen, right? What's this? Trump tariffs. Musk calls Navarro dumber than a sack of bricks. Don't know what that's all about. I keep up on some news, not all. Let's look at S&P. Look at that S&P as of right now. Everything is still red, right? The only things that are going up, I think, is Magnificent Seven, pushing that market up. It's not looking the greatest for S&P. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, same thing, all red. There are a couple little, couple green flyers, and yeah, it looks like pretty much just the Magnificent Seven is really holding this stuff up. So anyways, let's take a look at what's going on. So the Dow Jones, we got a big push up. So far, that's just beginning to be a wick. And remember, this target here, if this target remains as a resistance, let's see where today closes, but still everybody has gotten extremely excited over all of this little pump we had. And the reason I say little is because honestly, if you look at the big picture, you got to expect markets to come back at some points. I believe this is a dead cat bounce. Could it be the bottom is in and we're going to new all-time highs? Absolutely. But I'm going to trade it as a bear market still, because I do believe we've started the bear market since December, back over here, right? Been talking about this for a long time. So anyways, let's take a look at this on the weekly real quick. We're going to take a look at the weekly MACD, right? Actually, let's look on the monthly because that's a bigger macro picture. Now, again, this is the monthly, but just so you guys can have a look, and these are my bottom targets if we've topped, right? So we have 30, this one here about 25, right around, actually 27.9, 28,000 for the Dow. We have one as low as 22.4. We have one as low as, whoops, this one is 20,100. This one here is 6,400. Is it definitely going to get there? No, there's no definites, but it is a possibility, right? So as you guys know, let's take a look at this MACD real quick. You'll see we flashed the red dot way back here, right? And every time we've done that, we've had a big correction or dump, right? But as you guys know, if you watch the channel, I think Bitcoin has been in one big bull market along with the stock market. All you have to do is take one look at the Dow, right? It's been in a bull market since back here. Yes, we had some dumps, corrections, right? And along with these corrections, Bitcoin got corrections, right? Not a bear market. I believe it's all one big bull market. Bitcoin was created right here at the bottom. And you can see what happened after that. I believe this could get scarily bad for people in the markets, right? If you're all in on the markets, you know, that's your retirement and that's how you're going to live for the next 30 years. It's scary, because if it happens to be a 100-year cycle, right, it would look something like this. And if anyone's familiar with what happened in the dot-com bubble, right, it took 40 years to get back to the all-time high after the crash, the Great Depression. And so a lot of people put all their hope, all their trust into these financial advisors, these economists, and if you can look at two well-established economists, and they'll say the exact opposites of each other. One super bullish on the tariffs, one super bearish on the tariffs. One thinks that our policies are going to screw us. One thinks the policies are... They literally only know what they're taught. They weren't around for, you know, what happened in the past. And a lot of these guys are so young, they really were just kids in the great financial crisis, which was only, what, 14 years ago or whatever it was. Let's see, 2008, 2025, 17 years ago. You know, they were kids, right? At least I seen that one and the dot-com bubble. I do remember the dot-com bubble because I remember seeing all the stuff in, yeah, we read newspapers still back then. But yeah, a lot of these people really, they only know what they're taught, period. A lot of them don't work from experience. They don't really, they pay someone to tell them how to think, and that schooling got them to where they're at to think in a certain way. Financial advisors, yeah, they look like heroes here. All they had to do was throw your money at anything for the last, 20 years. Ta-da! I made you a bunch of money and I took a bunch of fees. That's what that is. I don't know why I went on this rampage. How you guys doing? Remember, get 100 likes and then we will go over the stocks of your choice. We're going to go over Bitcoin and everything else right now. We'll look at my trades, but here's the S&P. S&P, like I said, our target's right around here. This 54 was our old target, which I think should hold as our new resistance. If it does break above there and get support, we talked about that this morning, could go way up here. It all depends on what the news articles and things like that say. I'm going to keep it to that, right? Wouldn't want to get punished for saying the wrong words. Anyways, so same thing here. This is everything seems to be coming back down. But we'll have to wait and see. But one thing I want to point out, let's go back over here to the Great Depression, slow it down a little bit. Let's look at the top over here, right? Let's zoom in. Right? We'll zoom into this top here too. Of course, they're not going to be the exact same, right? But so you guys see, there's up days, right? There's up days, no big deal. Up days, down days. Oh, look at this. This went, let's take a measurement. This is not to tell you where we're going, but to tell you how you got to handle your emotions in the markets, right? So this was a 37% pump right here in, these are weeks. So around a month, a little over a month, it went 37% up. These people back then thought for sure that this was it. This was the bottom. It was going to continue up, but you could see what happened afterwards. But guys, there's green days. There's going to be green days. There's going to be big green days. There's going to be, sorry guys, that is the marina. My boat must be done. I had to have them redo my lower unit on my motor. I thought actually it ended up not being that. I thought the seals were leaking, but it ended up being a fuel pump was cracked. One of the fuel pumps. It has like 3 on. It's really strange. But anyways, but you can see, like I said, that was a 30-some% pump. Let's see what this one is. So far, this is, this week, which is yesterday and today. 7%. So what if it went 30%? It would be crazy. But anyways, it's actually, let's see. Yeah, so it's been about a 9% rise. Let's look at this one up here. This one was a 5%. But let's look at what this fell before it had that 30% rise, right? So if this went up 30% of this move, right, would be somewhere around in the 40,000, 40,500. But if you check this one out, go from the top, bottom, this was a 50% correction, right? And then it had a nice 30% rally and then a continuation down. Now, again, it's not saying history often rhymes. It doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes, right? So let's go with a 50% correction here. Where would that go? Right around that 22, right? Which, if we go back to my other Dow Jones chart, that is one of our areas, right, to watch. Right here. This was about 24.2, somewhere in that range. But I do believe that's an ending fifth wave diagonal. I talked about that a little bit on today's video. We have 32 likes, 77 viewers. Come on, guys. Smash those thumbs up. Let's back to the daily here. Oh, damn it. What did I do? See if I can back out of that. There we go. I hate when I touch buttons that I don't know what I touched. But anyways, as I was saying, guys, this could be nothing more than a dead cat bounce, and it doesn't mean it stops here. We could get it to bounce all the way up into this 40,000, maybe even up to 42, right? And still be pretty damn bearish. But like I said, our main area to watch is going to be down here. It would take a pretty big dump right now, but I'd say watch for the weekly to close below this trend line. And if we put it in the weekly, you'll be able to see it. Yes. So if our weekly closes below this rising, I gotta clean this chart up and get this stuff off the weekly. I drew this on the monthly. For some reason, it came over to the weekly. I have to get that crap off there, guys. I'm not gonna do it all right now, but just so you can see, believe this is ending fifth wave diagonal of a huge run, right? And we got a big correction coming. Crash, Great Depression, whatever you want to call it. Huge opportunity, massive opportunity. NASDAQ, same thing. We talked about that. Now let's go over to, let's check out my charts real quick, or my trades. Haven't looked at them in a couple hours. Could be up, could be down. I don't know. Let's see. Our prime trade, 2 Bitcoin short. We are now down 573. We're down a lot less than we were in this morning's update video. If you guys are interested in trading, there is a link down below along with a tutorial. Now, by using my link right now this month, you get a 100% deposit bonus. Whatever you deposit. If you deposit $100, they match it with 100. If you deposit 10,000, they'll go up to 10,000. They'll match it with 10,000 to use towards your margin. If you already have an account signed up under my link, then you just go to the more section right here, go to the promo codes and put in Savvy100 and you'll get that for when you deposit money. So let's look at our BITUNIX trade. Both these exchanges are exchanges I like, I use, I trust. You could choose other ones or whatever, but by using mine, I do have agreements with them. They're both sponsors of the channel and they give me special bonuses for my followers, right? So BITUNIX right now are having a trading contest. You can go to my X. If you don't follow me on X, scroll down in the description of the video, click on my X/Twitter account, give me a follow, scroll through there. Yesterday, I think I posted it. It tells you what the prizes are. You can win a Rolex, Tesla, things like that. But also you have to be using my link for that. They'll keep track of your trading volume. Higher the volume, the higher your prize, right? There's a bunch of prizes. Those are just the 2 top prizes. Anyway, so this trade, we are actually up. We were up $1. Now we're down $20. Obviously moving quickly here. But again, I showed you yesterday. I put this trade in live. By the end of the live stream, it was up $1,000. I told people, you know, normally when I first began trading, I would have took the profits there because it was $1,000. Hey, but I'm actually looking for more off this. I believe it's got lower to go, and we can talk about that in a minute. This here is our Bitcoin chart showing there could be one more leg up. We only have 34 likes. Man, it's a bad day for live streams. Oh, I don't know that we're going to get to that 100 likes, guys. If you're watching on your phones, exit your chat, hit that thumbs up. Let's see what's going on. Let's see, Boss Craig. So we need to get this chat going. Somebody, let's talk about something. I want to hear what you guys think of the tariffs, right? Put in the chat, tariffs good or tariffs bad in your chat. Let's see what's going on there. That'll get it pumping a little bit. Maybe we can get some more viewers in here and get our 100 likes so we can move on. But anyway, this is the bullish Bitcoin count. If we don't drop below here, right? We had this count for what, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months actually. In our bearish view, which I'm more leaning bearish on this whole move because of this here, and other things that we'll talk about. All right, so we got Paul said bad, Sands said good over time, JJ said bad, Degen bad. Tariffs absolutely genius idea, and I'm not from the U.S. TRX said. Bad now, good later. Yeah, I think maybe that'll be part of the markets coming down like they need to, right? The only thing I don't agree with is him trying for lower rates. If we get lower rates, the markets are just going to pump on fake money again, and all these smaller people that want lower rates are just begging for their demise. They'll end up losing their asses because that wipes out middle class. That keeps the inflation going super fast, and people won't be able to afford their houses, their cars, nothing. They need to really understand the economy and economics before begging for something that they have no idea what it does in the big picture, right? Yeah, it might get you a lower rate on buying a house, but that lower rate isn't going to matter when shit inflates to the sky because they're printing tons of freaking money. And man, it's crazy. It's like people are begging for what they fear. That's what they're doing. They're begging for what they fear. Tariffs good long run. Kells says it's bad. Tariffs worked 100 years ago when America manufactured most of its stuff. Now they rely heavily on imported goods. It'll take years for companies to move operations. True. But that's what I mean. Like I said, if you look at the Great Depression, right? It took 40 years. It only took 2 to 3 years to bottom. And then it was a steady rise up. But it took 40 years to get back to those old highs. But if you got in on that bottom, you were making money for them 40 years while people that, were dying off and never seeing those highs again, right? That they had if they didn't get rid of it at the top. The next president will undo them in 4 years anyway. Maybe, maybe not. 2 or 3 cuts this year. I don't see cuts, Paul. Really don't see cuts. If there's cuts, if you want cuts, you want to screw yourself, basically. You don't want to afford groceries and shit. If you want cuts, you are begging for inflation. That is not going to make anything better. The markets will go up, but you're screwed. Daily life is screwed. So your wages might stay the same, might even go up, but you'll be making less money buying power, right? Stupid. Stupid to lower rates. How you make a strong economy, you raise the rates, makes your dollar more valuable, and boom, you got a strong economy. Markets, it doesn't matter. They can go down. They'll come back up in a strong economy. Our economy has been shit for the last 10 years in reality. Keep rates where they are. Keep them where they are or raise them. I think they should raise them, honestly. It would get this it would help the markets bottom quicker, I think, and it would help the economy get stabilized and get rid of all these over-leveraged idiot funds and all that stuff, all these crazy over-leveraged people like Michael Saylor. It would just wash them out, get rid of them, get rid of their garbage companies, clean the market up a little bit, and start fresh without this extreme speculative pricing on crap. The things in the market aren't worth what their market caps are, period. They're not. What up, Blocky? Eating black coffee. Cheap money is not free money. That's right, man. It ended up costing you a whole lot more in the long run. A whole lot more. Dean thinks it's good. Trump calling for low rates. Agree. They should raise. Yeah. Yeah, the lower rates thing, it's just gonna be, I think if they lower rates, it's gonna be just like last time, right? Total inflation, nobody can afford shit. It's a bad move. I believe we see a nice dump this rest of the day. It's definitely a good possibility. See where we're at here. We're in $300 profit in this one now. Remember, this is the same trade I entered yesterday. Like I said, guys, I like to be in trades. I don't like to day trade. I'm not trying to get in and out 5 times a day and stare at charts. We're up 173 on this one. We're only 2 Bitcoin short. I was thinking about adding up here, but I didn't. And I still think we could get up into this 80 to 82 range. If we do, I'll add then, but nevertheless, I'm in it, making a little bit of money. I'm okay with where I'm at. If it doesn't go back up and I don't get more in, 2 Bitcoin short, so I'm up. It's basically what, $160,000 trade. I like to be four Bitcoin. Whenever I'm in a trade, 4 to 10 usually. But I'm okay with 2 right here. I'll stay right here. See how this plans out. Like I said, if it does get back up here, my plan is to enter more. And I think that'll just be coming up to retest this channel or retest this triangle here, somewhere up in this range, 82.2, 82.5, depending on how far it goes over. So if that happens, but remember this was our bounce area. We blew past it, right? We came back. It did not hold as resistance. Now we'll see if it holds as support. If it holds as support, we can go up one more push up. If it does not hold as support, my next target is still 69. And if that doesn't hold as support, and remember, we could get down here in the next day, next couple weeks, bounce around for a while. So it could be months before we get to this if we do. But remember, guys, this all isn't one straight line down, guys. If they don't bring rates down, how do you think that will impact our ability to structure our debt mess in this nation? The debt mess it's a mess, right? So that's one of the things, right? The bad debts, the bad loans, the bad everything will go under. That'll kill the banks that made the bad loan. It's gonna get ugly, right? But it's what's needed to clean shit up, get rid of the garbage, start fresh. They had 100 years of mess making. Now it's time to clean up the messes and start fresh. They're going to start making more messes again, but we'll be out of this crap, right? Jake drinks milk straight from the cow. Crypto is weird. What'd Jake say? I'm just here for the like button. This bounce was necessary to get everyone happy for the day, at least until tomorrow. Tariffs will take effect and everything comes lower. Maybe not. Maybe we could pump for a week. Who knows? Where are we at right now? Still up for the day. I mean, but like I said, like I showed you in the big picture, it's going to be up days. There's going to be up weeks, right? Maybe up months. But the overall trend is beginning to be down and continue to be down. We broke that trend line. We did not stay below. We broke the parabola right here. This is a 2009. So that's a parabola since 2009. It broke, man. I do believe it broke on everything, right? Same thing here. Like I said, we broke this trend. But again, we look at it on the weekly. Let's wait for a weekly open and close below it and see what happens. So it'd be 2 weeks before we actually have a confirmation if this is broke on the weekly, right? On the daily, it's definitely broken. Or not confirmed, but I mean it wicked through, right? So I do believe it will end up being a break, and we'll probably see these lows. I honestly don't think that we're gonna get that one more leg up. But again, as crazy as today is, the powers that be, the people that run the world, influencers, can put out some news articles or do whatever they want to make the markets go where they want. But in reality, this thing is popping. It can go up fake more, but the higher and the more that this thing goes up, the harder it's going to be. I mean, I don't know. Just imagine a Great Depression right now, for this day and age, a Great Depression. Things are already expensive, right? Just imagine what would happen. And yes, this was 100 years ago. It's a 100-year cycle. They never thought this could happen over here, and it might happen faster because of social media and stuff, or it might take just as long because they can get in there, like I said, and make a post, make it pump and whatever, drag it out, right? Drag it out. And they can stop markets, stop people from selling when they sell too much. But in reality, if the people are really wanting to sell because shit's bad, as soon as they turn it back on, they're going to sell more, and then they shut it. They might make it last longer, but really that's all they can do, right? When people are ready to get out, which they have been, and what they're doing is taking people's money, right? That's the thing. People say $6 trillion exited the market today, or $6 trillion was lost. No, it wasn't lost. Somebody put that shit in their pocket and they're doing damn good with it, right? Maybe you should do the same. Maybe not, but maybe. I'm not giving any financial advice, but I'm just saying. Oh, good afternoon from Florence. What do we got? We got 61 likes. Guys, we need 100 likes. We got a little over a half hour left. If we can get them 100 likes, we can go over whatever chart you want. But I will go over our normal crypto charts, right? Solana, what's it doing? Same thing. Looks like it's coming back now, down now. You know, our target for that is 27, which honestly, if we're in a bear market, I think it'll be a lot lower. Same thing with XRP. It's still testing the top of this channel again, but nevertheless, we did come down to our first target. But remember, once this breaks, it gets pretty damn ugly. There's some support here on the VPVR at 57 cents. Then I have a target at 20 cents. But if this was the case and we broke, let's say we broke this right here in the next day or two, that gets you down to approximately a couple cents. Is that going to happen? No guarantees. Could it happen? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I also I dubbed this line off these two highs, put it down here off this wick. So we can look at this also for somebody that doesn't want to be quite as bearish on it, but might come down to this level here, get a bounce, 110, bounce back up in this area. Maybe even, depending if everyone gets one more leg up, make it up to this area and come back down. But eventually, I think we'll be down into this area at some point. That would be from beginning to end of this year at some point. So let's say down in here. Something to watch out for. That'll be all invalidated if we blow past this top up here, right? We blow past that top and then all this is invalidated. So you XRP fans out there, you want to see above 259. Buy it. All right. Blocky said, I mean, look at Eric Trump's post. That is a good buy. A lot to say buy now. He knows something, not me. Look at the chart when he posted that, when it's obviously he said that to dump on your head. Yeah, there's so much of that going on. And remember, guys, there's still not a whole lot of regulation in crypto. And I believe that's coming. And I believe certain people know that, and certain people are taking advantage of that. I could be wrong. But I think because there's not really any regulation, and you'll notice not a lot of people are getting in trouble for this pump and dump stuff, right? Everybody seems to be able to get out of it. But I think there's a regulation coming, and I think people are taking advantage of this while they can. I have coins constantly in my emails trying to get big offers. I mean, they'll offer you, some of them $10,000, been offered $50,000 in the past. I've seen $100,000 offers to do a review on their coin, and they're always like, well, put it with like XRP and Ethereum and then put it in there as one of your top picks. We'll give you 100,000 of the coin, and then when it pumps, because so-and-so is doing a video on Monday, if you could do yours on Wednesday, we got another guy doing one on Thursday. They're pumping it. They're giving me a bunch of it, and I can dump it along the way, and as the other influencers do. I don't do that. Why? Because I have a conscience. I cannot do that. I cannot screw people for my benefit, right? It's just wrong. Totally wrong. And so many of them do it. Donna said, thumbs up, guys. Come on. We got 70 likes, 100 viewers. So weird. Stuck at 100 viewers in a live, stuck at 1,000 views on the videos. YouTube got back to me, said there was no issues, nothing happening. I beg to differ. That's how Sam Price got his new house. That's how a lot of the YouTubers get their new stuff. Thanks, TG. Jake Crypto said I did my part. Looking at the charts, you can tell the bad news. We're not done yet. Still some shit to be announced. I believe so, Robert. I believe so. We just still hovering around that area. Yeah, still just hovering. I'm waiting for them to put their next news event on here and see what they're going to say next. It's always interesting to watch how quickly that stuff changes. And you can't tell. CNBC is literally a paid shill channel. Literally, paid shill. So I looked at that once because I seen a couple crypto YouTubers come on there and they weren't asked to go on there. You can go on their website. You can go in if you're a company and sign up and they'll give you their price sheet. And then you're a contributor and then you get some airtime depending on how much you want to contribute. Hedge fund managers, all that crap, all them people you see on there, like the random guy that comes on, he's advertising. That's all he's doing. He's advertising his either hedge fund or some kind of fund or some kind of service. That's all that is. It's a bunch. It's a freaking shill chain. All them all the financial news stations. They're just a paid shill channel. Denny OC, Crypto Savvy and Friends. Yeah, I thought about bringing smaller YouTubers on. With these numbers on my views, I'm a smaller YouTuber now too. But anyway, bringing them on, kind of collaborating with some, get some people out there. Blocky, maybe we could do something together. I've been talking to somebody else on Twitter a little bit lately. But yeah, maybe I'll start bringing other people and kind of make a bigger community of some newer people coming up and hopefully try to keep with honest people and try to bring in the type of people that I like instead of shillers and, just hype channels and down to earth, realistic people. Damn, Ben gets more views in prison. Right. Got people still holding their shit coins, hoping it goes back up. I'm a macro bull, but I still watch you because I trust you to be honest arbiter of the universe of my inverse position. Right on. Nobody knows for sure, right? But I don't know. I've found that there is some pretty pressing things pointing to what I'm trying to get out there to you guys. I thought it was going to happen earlier, right? A couple years ago, but obviously it didn't. Honestly, it should have right here. This should have continued, right? But what they do, lowered rates. They started buying everything. The Fed started buying all that debt, and look what happens. If they do that again, guys, it's only going to get worse. You thought shit got expensive last time. You should be begging for a huge recession or a Great Depression if you want to live comfortably in the future. All right. Yeah, Coordinates here daily. TG's here daily. Blacky's been stopping in daily. Robert. Donna's always around. Love you much. Still waiting to hear how your strategy is working out, where you're at with it, Donna. If you would, start posting your charts and what you're looking at in there, because I'm interested with your strategy you're coming up with. I want to see that. We have 83 likes. We're not there yet. Denny OC said it's got to get worse before it can get better. Yeah, it's like that pretty much in everything, right? Learning to trade, it's going to get bad before it gets better because you're going to lose your ass. Far away said I only see 15. Hit your refresh, it should pop back up. We're up to like 88 now. We got 106 viewers. And if you're watching on your phone, your mobile, exit the chat real quick. The video will keep playing. Hit the thumbs up, and then you can open the chat right back up. I know you can't see the likes with the chat on. Eugene, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. So I got a guy working on a way to get you guys your YouTube supporter level in the Discord, the ones that don't have it yet, the supporters, where I don't know, I'm not sure. He's making something to help me with that so I can make it easier. Instead of, just talking about it on a live and then people email me and say they are and they're not. It'll somehow set it up, and he's supposed to have it this evening. He said he was going to charge me for it, but if I end up using it and it works and I like it, I'm going to give him something for it for sure. Faraway said I put more accounts. Damn. Recession would be good long term. 100%. Billy Rock. That's what I was talking about. Billy Rock is making that for me. Like I said, not sure how it's going to work, but hey, Billy, I will give you something for that for sure. Appreciate it, man. Are you laddering them short, Savvy? Actually, I haven't put any more in. If it goes higher, I'm going to. I was waiting for it to get back up in here to that 81.5 to 82 range. It touched 81.4. I was really waiting it to get more near this 55 EMA, which it may still to enter more, but I'm too short. I have 2 Bitcoin short. That's still from yesterday. And you guys know our last shorts on Prime closed and it was 14,200 profit. What, 2 days ago or yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yesterday or 2 days? But either way, and our 3,500 on our BITUNIX. Right now we're up 700 on our BITUNIX. We got stopped out at all those at 80, but I was okay with that because we got stopped in profit. You guys know the way I like to trade. Thanks, Blocky. No worries, brother. I'll make an instructional video for you as well and make one for the members. Dude, you rock, man. Right on. And I got you on that. Which of the two is best for learning how to trade on? It depends. If you want to trade in traditional markets too, Prime you can trade, so you can put deposit Bitcoin or whatever in there, and you can use that to trade traditional markets. So you can trade against USDT, you can trade it against Ethereum, you can trade against XRP, you can trade the markets with anything you want in there, right? Which is pretty damn awesome. BitUnix is more for if you like trading just crypto and meme coins. They have a lot more alts and memes on here than Prime does. But either one, start one on both. Try them both. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the link, sign up, check it out. I don't know. I've been sleeping on watching on you all these years. I don't know. I've been sleeping on watching on you all these years. Not sure what that means, Jake. If anyone is interested, I'll let you links in the video description. I think the China tariffs go into effect tomorrow. Yeah, I think they do too, but we'll see what happens. I can change it any second. He didn't mean the second on... Oh, I don't know how to text. That's all good, Jake. So I'm going to also, since people were saying that the invite was expired, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in this chat in case anybody wants to join the Discord. Like I said, that part's totally free. Let me see. Invite link. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the chat here. Once I get back in the chat. Pop-up chat back in here. Wow, what the hell is going on here? Let's see. Free Discord link. There you go. There's the Discord link. Refill the black coffee, Craig. I'm out of coffee, but I did bring my water in here. In my normally what's in my coffee. But I only brought a regular coffee cup today. It's all good. So we have 98 likes. 2 more likes, guys. And we can go over some charts of your choice. How much time do we have? Man, you guys got to be quicker with that. We only got like 20 more minutes. Chat's been acting weird all day. All right, let's see. 100 likes. All right. What do you guys want to look at? Craig, what do you think will happen to the markets when U.S. goes to war with Iran? Who knows? Might not even go to war with them, right? I don't trust anything we hear, right? I believe there's things going on they don't want us to know about. They tell us other crap to keep us busy thinking about it. That's just what I think. The whole chart looks like a distribution pattern. Yeah, like a giant one, especially if you zoom. You go to like, where's it at? Go to like right there. It just looks like a giant distribution. Where is my... Where the hell is my... There it is. Man, I think this is about the best possibility right here. S&P. We just looked at the S&P earlier. I mean, really nothing to look at. Same thing. It's just dropping back down. Probably going to close the gap here. We'll see what happens. But we may bounce around in this range, you know, for another week or two or whatever. But my target's still down here to this trend line. 46. Let's see. 46.70 to 47, somewhere in that range. Check out Solana. Solana right there. Nothing's changed, guys. I'm still looking for this down here in this direction. I mean, we may get a pop-up on the way down. We could look at it like this. Excuse me. Something like this, right? And take a measured move from the top. Actually, we have to go like this because it has to be alternate touches, right? Let's go like this. This would almost just be a freaking channel, right? But I don't know whether to count this or not just because it was the stupidest tweet in the world. But let's see. So if we were to bounce up, we'd probably go up, retest this 180, but we have to break 104.50 before I would even think about that, right? And there's no guarantees that we get there. But otherwise, like I said, I told you guys a million times that the target right here, right? All this is a simple, and these targets work out 80% of the time. I mean, it's crazy. The simplest thing works the best without any freaking indicators or anything. But we had this target about 27-ish, right? They're not going to be exact to the penny. But that's what I'm looking at. If it was to break down over here, this, you know, could be a lot worse, but we'll see what happens. You know, I could see it going down to the $5 to $7 again, going down to this bottom. If it drops below that, it'll probably just, you know, be like a dime penny stock forever, just minute trading. US built up the Gulf seas be nearing levels we haven't seen since the first Gulf War. Not good. Built up is due to Houthis. Yeah, I kind of keep up on that, kind of not. More so not. Like I said, the news stuff I don't pay attention too much. So we're up 800 as of right now on this BITUNIX trade, and we are up 1100 on the Prime XBT trade. We'll see what happens, guys. We will see what happens. What else we got to look at? Deegan, 103. I love that name. I am your exit liquidity. That's hilarious. Amazon chart, please. All right, let's go to our poop coin chart. Amazon, it's gonna be the same thing. Come up with some new ones, guys. We look at the same ones every day, so nothing's really changed on my view. Although we will be able to see, you know, how the charts, what I thought, how it's working out, right? Oh, look at that. We got up, tested that again, coming back down, still from there. You guys know my target is right around 106 for Amazon. Still looking at that target. Obviously, that could get a lot worse. Let's see something. I'm going to put here. I'm going to clone it. Grab it. I'll bring it down. Even that broke, so. Interesting enough. There's Amazon. Litecoin. We have that up right here. The Litecoin, we were waiting for this to break. Then this was our next target, which we hit. And now that seems to be our resistance. I'm looking for us to get down to the 52 to 55 level. And if that breaks, bear market down here. Nothing's changed on these charts. We've been looking at the same things for a long time, guys. VIX. All right, VIX. Let's look at VIX. You know, I never even, to be honest, never looked at the VIX chart. S&P volatility right here. Go! Got another huge wick up. Looks like it's heading back down. I don't know that I would trust any trend lines on this, but we're throwing them on there anyway. Yeah, pure craziness is what this stuff. So it's obviously it's going back up. Getting a nice wick on the bottom here. Like I said, I don't really follow the VIX. Don't really care. But yeah, I don't even know what to say on this because it's not something I mess with, right? We can look at when these peaked. This was August 24. Kind of see where Bitcoin was August of 24. Was at a low, right? And then it popped up from there. So go back over to that. Where was this one? Oh, you know what that was? I don't say that on this channel anymore, but this was March of 2020. Yeah. But you can tell, like, when we had the real bear markets in Bitcoin and stuff, there really wasn't nothing going on here. So we don't need that for Bitcoin for sure. Mara. Whoops, I don't want to do it on this. Let me go to back to the poop coin chart. Oh, that's not it. Here. ARA. Mara Holdings. Is this it? Or remember, it's stock. Okay. Damn. Looks pretty ugly. It looks like they're, well, I don't know. I would have to say this is ready for a bounce up. Couldn't tell you how big it's going to be, but it definitely looks like it's ready to bounce here. I have no idea what it is or what they do, but I'm going to give you some targets. Actually, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this because this looks like a possible ABC, this being the B, this being A, B, C. We're going to zoom out. D, D. Those are all alternate touches. You guys know I like to see alternate touches, right? So we have our touch on the bottom, touch on the top, touch on the bottom, touch on the top. Do we get another touch on the bottom or do we break the top? That's the question here. If we get another touch to the bottom, we're looking at about 790. That would match up with old support and resistance. I feel like we talked about this before, but maybe not. But we're going to take from the widest point of this, we're going to bring it up. And if we break up past 1278, I would be looking for approximately, and I'm going to draw these on there and just leave them. And, next time we come look at this stuff, we'll see how it played out. Again, I'm just giving you simple looks at this stuff. I'm not going into super detail, none of that stuff. But if 790 broke, what would it be? It would be horrible. It would be right back down to these lows. See, that's a possibility because that goes with that March 2020, right? Everything I think could go back to them ranges. Man, very strange. So much stuff leads to that when you look at it and do some measured moves or even do your fibs. So much stuff leads to that, right? One thing you got to watch out for fibs, though, especially if you're looking for retracements. If you're looking for a retracement of a spot that it's not going to retrace, it's just going to continue to make a new high or low, depending on which way you're going, the fibs aren't going to do nothing but give you bounce around areas. So if you're looking for, say you thought this was going to retrace only, right? But really it's going to go to a new all-time high, but you're looking for a retracement. You go from the top to the bottom and your retracement levels are in here. You're thinking that it's going to turn around and go down, but literally goes up because it's not retracing this. This is just a, downward move before a huge move up. So be careful with that stuff too. A lot of people put them on and be as this is as far as it can go. That's not true. What else we got here? Okay, so we did gold. We'll look at our gold chart, but like most of you guys know, I do see it possible to get up to this 3,300. But this, I believe, is a 5-wave structure finished also. We had wave 1 back here, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And that meaning that a huge correction is coming. But like I said, it could get up to that 3,300. But the correction, I think, will be humongous, guys. Serious correction. I have targets all over in these ranges. But I think it could go pretty damn low. More than 50% possible for sure. If we have a Great Depression style crash, right? Everything will crash along with it. Not my first name. Thank Wendy O for the change. You're welcome, Tommy. Check out HBAR. Ed wants to check out HBAR. Right, let's check out HBAR. But it go over to crypto. We'll put HBAR. I think I've looked at this before. Maybe not. Same type thing. This could be possibly. It actually looks a lot like XRP, right? It looks like it's broke its main old support here. But we'll take a look at the bullish and the bearish. So let's do this here. So if you were looking for a bullish case, right, this would be A, B, C, D, E. But usually that means a drop to the bottom. So you'd want to see this break. So this top trend line, I'm just giving you a roundabout, right? If you wanted to be super bullish, right? If this was going to be bullish. Man, HBAR, I remember when this first came out, the dude that created it it was back in, I want to say 2019, maybe 2020, probably 2019. Some bad news got out about it, and I didn't know anything about it. And the actual creator or whatever guy got a hold of me. I'm pretty sure it was the creator. I could probably go back and check my emails, but they were begging people to make a video saying that was something was a false statement. I don't remember the whole thing, but I kind of looked at what it was about. But like I said, if I don't trust something, I'm not going to mention it to my viewers because I don't want to spread false information. I will, however, give you my opinion on everything. My opinion's not, doesn't have to be right all the time, right? Oh, damn it. So this is on market cap. Why the hell did I do this? Sorry, guys. Yeah, we already had this on here. That makes sense right there. So this was from last time we made the video, and look at that. Look how freaking close that came to that target. It could still come down to this range, maybe a little bit lower now. And like I said, it could be bullish. If so, I never put the bullish count on here, but we'll do that now. So I had it here for the break. Now our break is going to be more like in this area. We're going to have to break the 18.5 range, right? So let's just put this down towards 18.5 or 18.7-ish, wherever, depending on where it breaks, right? And if it breaks up, it'll go test the highs again at about 37 cents. But I don't see that creating a new high, right? This easily could pop up, maybe get back up to this 0.522 and come back down right back to these levels, which would line up, well, this one don't go back as far, but it would most likely line up with the 2020. Vegan, wish I could. Man, I'm half tempted to sell everything on the next little pump we go now. Always make your own decisions based on your own research. Wave 3 should be bigger than wave 5. No. Nope. Wave 5 could have an extended wave. So if you read up on Elliott waves, some of the simplest things are wave 3 is often, not always, often the longest wave, right, in a normal market. But there's extended fifth wave. Sometimes one wave can be bigger than 3. The only rule is it is never the shortest. So wave 1 or 5 will always be shorter if you're counting correctly. But no, it does not have to be the longest. If somebody told you that, quit watching them, delete their account, do whatever, get away from them. It's not anything to do with Elliott wave. All right. So, anyways, on from that. But remember that wave 3 is often the longest, just never the shortest. But it's not always the longest. And honestly, in crypto, you see a lot of extended fifth waves, right? So the fifth waves are longer than the third. It's always hard to catch wave 1. Yeah. So if you catch a decent wave 1 and 2, right? So this one's not a great example because this is a wishy-washy thing. But if you catch a good wave, well, I'll show you real quick. So this was our last members group. I put this in and I was looking at this as a wave 2. And the wave 3 is the one you want to catch if you're trading, right? So this, if you can see this stuff, see this here? I put that up on our last members. It went a little higher than I thought. It went a little lower than I thought, but I had said catching the 3 wave is what you want to do. And mind you, I put this in before we got that. But anyways, catching the 3 wave is what you try to do if you're trading, day trading, basically. But yeah, the other waves you don't care as much about. Or if you catch the top of wave 3, you know, the top of wave 2 or whatever, you catch the beginning of wave 3, you can sit through that till 5. If you're confident you caught the 3rd wave, right? Otherwise, you try to take your profits at wave 3. No problem. Very. Yep, always looking for wave 2 pullback and catch 3. Yeah, 3 is usually the fastest wave. Other than, like I said, you see a lot of extended fifth waves in crypto. Those are usually pretty fast. But I think that's what we got in gold. A huge extended 3 or extended fifth wave. Look at that. That's huge. See how this fifth wave is longer than the 3rd, but the 3rd's longer than the 1. So it's often the longest, never the shortest. You got to remember that stuff when you're doing your Elliott waves. And corrections will always be like this one was a complex correction right here. And then over here, Thought I had that in there. Let's see. Well, I thought I had it in there. I can put it in there. So this was a complex correction, this wave too, because it wasn't simple, right? It was complex. There was a lot of X, Y, Z's and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to try to explain that because that's like takes a long time to learn Elliott wave and all the rules. So the best way to do it is get you a book on Elliott wave, because what I've noticed watching people do Elliott wave on a lot of channels and stuff, a lot of them really don't understand it. They do the basics and that's it. So get a book. There's one, I can't remember what the one I've reading was actually. I will try to look that up. And remind me maybe in tomorrow's live I can do that for you. But this was an ABC, but basically, right? Basically an ABC, but it was complex. You had a triangle over here with a bunch of XYZs, and like I said, there's a lot to it. And I'm going to change the color of this to yellow. But anyway, yeah, so you had a complex correction. Then after, so that was wave 2. And wave 4, therefore, should be a simple correction, which it was, A, B, C. This all being a wave 1, right? This being a wave 3, if it's the bullish count. And this being completing wave 4 here, we're about to hit wave 5. Could that be extended? Could be. But I'm going to go over to my part where I believe is more like it. Same thing. So you can see the complex correction. Then you had your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside your wave 3, right? This is wave 1. You had 5 waves in wave 1. You had your ABC correction, your the correction I just told you about that was complex, right? Right here. 2. So you have your 1, 2. Then you have 3, 5 waves in 3. And then you have your 4, which was a simple correction. And then you have your wave 5, which is extended pretty damn long, right? Finished. Now we look for either a ABC simple. It doesn't matter because this is a whole new ABC. This now becomes wave 1. We're looking for wave 2, right? Could be up to 100% correction. Wave 2 can be 100% correction. Usually it's golden pocket area 0.618, 0.65 to 0.786, but a lot of times it'll wick past that 786. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, that's why I think it's possible for us to get down to 3,500, 9,700. There's also CME gaps down there. I used to show that a lot in the past. I'm not going to even bother showing it anymore, but this could be a simple correction like this, or it could be something like we seen last time, right? Just comes down, maybe bounces around here for a while, comes back down like this. You know, it could take a long time, make like a descending triangle, and then boom, could get something like that. Who knows? But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Or it's a simple correction like this. We break this trend line. So this trend line is up here. Oh, why? What the hell is this? Why is it there? There should be a trend line somewhere here. Oh yeah, I think I had it there. And watching for that trend line break. All right, guys, it's been an hour. I'm gonna quickly go through the comments. S&P collapsing. Rest in peace. Is it? Starting to. Everything's coming back down to reality. Our profits, we're up 1,000 again in that same trade, and we're up about 1,600 in the Prime XBT trade. Don't forget, guys, check out the accounts below, or the trading platforms below. Both of them help this channel out. They both sponsor the channel, so. JC said, sorry I'm late, bro. Can you recap? Just rewind, brother. I love you guys, man. You guys rock. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget, join the free Discord. I put a link in this chat if you want to scroll through the chat, find the link. If the link underneath doesn't work, I don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Most people it does, but make sure your phone's verified. Take it easy, guys. I'm out. Don't forget. Oh, yeah. Before I go, subscribe to the channel, smash that thumbs up, click the notification bell, and share the video. All right, guys. I'm out.